Hello, everyone, and welcome to another community conversation on the health crisis at
of personnel.
That's a great
Another
question,
elderly
and I would direct them to
We're
the
thinking outside the box, trying to come up with new ways
And
of
as you
moving.
already mentioned, the city is
Let's try to keep these numbers from doubling.
At over 33%, and hope you're watching at home.
First, I want to say thank you for inviting me to the show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another community conversation right here on Facebook Live. It's a pleasure to have you with us today. Today's topic is a light one. We are going to talk about one of my favorite things, and that is the farm show, which is going on virtually right now. We're going to learn more about it and reminisce a little bit about when times were not as hard as they are right now. And the farm show is an integral part of our lives and our culture here in central Pennsylvania. And to discuss it today, we are going to be joined by Shannon Powers, who is the press secretary for the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture. We also have Alyssa and Alexandria Neff from the PA State 4-H Council, and Sharon Myers, who's the executive director of the PA Farm Show Complex. And again, it is virtually going on as we speak, and we're going to learn all about it. But before we get to that topic, I do want to address some other serious issues that are on people's minds. I'm well aware of the anxiety that many Harrisburg residents are having, including myself, for what may happen this weekend or next week regarding potential protests in Harrisburg. I want to stress that we continue to have no specific intelligence as to activities in Harrisburg other than the blanket warning from the FBI that folks may be coming to Harrisburg this weekend or next week to protest President Biden's inauguration. We are prepared for whatever comes our way. And over the past week, there's been an enormous effort on all levels, state, federal, county, and city, to coordinate and prepare for whatever response is needed. We're going to have hundreds of police mobilized. That includes both the Capitol Police and the state police, but also obviously the Harrisburg Police and police from surrounding municipalities, and even the National Guard. The Capitol will be defended, Harrisburg will be protected, and we will make it through this together. I want to try and reassure folks that we will handle whatever comes our way. I know there are a lot of specific questions about what may happen, and some of those operational details I can't get into. But one thing I can say, because I got these questions online, is that there will be some limited street closures. So the Capitol complex will be closed this weekend, starting on Sunday at 10 a.m., and that includes Commonwealth Avenue there between Walnut and Foster Streets. And the streets behind it. The city will be closing 3rd Street in front of the Capitol and the 200 block of State Street. Other than those closures, those are the only street closures that are definitively planned at this time. Excuse me. But we have the ability to close additional streets as necessary, and we're going to be monitoring the situation very carefully. Expect to see a strong police presence throughout Harrisburg, and don't be surprised if you see our police officers along with uniformed National Guardsmen. There are many which are being deployed to Harrisburg, and they will be accompanying our police at various patrols and checkpoints really throughout the city. At this point, we are going to see how things transpire over the weekend before making a call on Monday about further preparations for Wednesday. There might be some additional street closures for Wednesday. We may recommend certain closures of buildings in the downtown, but we're going to wait and see how things transpire this Sunday. I hope everyone, stays safe and just we get through this together. I think it is possible to be optimistic that nothing will actually transpire while also being prepared for the very worst at the same time, and that's the city's position on that. Also, you may have seen in the news this past week that we took a rather dramatic step here in the city of Harrisburg, and we have mandated the COVID vaccine for city employees. This was due in a large part to the fact that we are currently having a rash of increased COVID exposure and COVID cases among the Harrisburg Police Department. December was not a good month. We have had at least 2 Harrisburg police officers in the hospital with very serious complications due to COVID. Both are in the process of recovering, but it's a very serious illness for them. And unfortunately, our voluntary rate for those of our first responders willing to sign up and take the vaccine was not high enough, which is why we had to take this extraordinary step. I believe we're the first, if not only, municipality in Pennsylvania to mandate it for employees. But nonetheless, it's in the interests of public safety, because we've got to, for events like we're expecting this weekend and others, we've got to make sure that we have a full complement of first responders. Right now, the vaccine is only available for those in Category 1A, which basically includes healthcare workers, nursing homes, and some first responders, EMS, for instance, and most of our firefighters are EMS. There is not enough vaccine presently to cover all of that category group 1A, but we will soon be moving from 1A to 1B. And 1B will include police and other frontline workers, including grocery workers and others that are on the front lines every day. And that's going to be a much, much larger rollout and a complicated rollout. We don't control that on the local level, but I'll continue to keep you posted as the vaccine is available. And we are at the sort of forefront of this because, as I say, some of our employees in 1A have already been vaccinated. At this point, I can report that aside from a little bit of a sore arm or a little muscle soreness, there's been no adverse reactions, and one should not expect any adverse reaction from this vaccine. And the dangers of COVID obviously far outweigh any reactions to the vaccine. The city's policy, it should be noted, does have the possibility to receive an exemption for religious grounds, ADA concerns, or health concerns. Perhaps somebody has a long history of severe anaphylactic shock or allergic reactions to certain medications. In those instances, and only really in those instances, the vaccine may not be appropriate. But otherwise, it is mandated for our employees. We had a great community conversation last week. If you haven't had a chance to see it, I would encourage everybody to go to the Harrisburg YouTube channel, and you can hear me have a conversation about the vaccine with the leading infectious disease specialist at UPMC Pinnacle. And I wanted to turn it over to you, Momin, just for a moment to show folks what's available online and to talk a little bit about our COVID information page.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. We can actually show the page itself. It's harrisburgpa.gov/coronavirus. And on this page, just like the Mayor mentioned, information about the vaccine and clips from our community conversation from last week can be found here, as well as information on testing locations, information pulled straight from the Pennsylvania's webpage, the Department of Health. You can also find other links, for example, the Dauphin County coronavirus page, the link is there for that. Information about the vaccine in general, straight from the Department of Health. You can watch the full video with Dr. John Goldman from UPMC Pinnacle from the last week there, as well as clips on specific questions that were mentioned and answered in that episode. For example, when is the vaccine available? How will you know when it's your turn? If you get vaccinated, will you still need to wear a mask? How are communities of color affected by COVID-19? What percentage of the population needs to be vaccinated? And more. So we do invite everyone to check out harrisburgpa.gov/coronavirus and also WHBG YouTube channel, which also has all these clips and more regarding coronavirus and other topics.
Thanks, Momin. The vaccine is safe, it's effective, it's the best way to combat COVID. And remember this. One of the things that I really took from the interview with Dr. Goldman last week is that even if you don't want to do the vaccine for yourself, do it for your family members. One, out of 10 individuals who are 70 or older who contract COVID will die. It's that dire. And you can carry COVID and you can pass COVID to somebody 70 years and older without even knowing it, and very easily. So we need to protect those, and we need to especially make sure that our first responders who don't choose who they respond to or when they respond and are on the front lines giving urgent medical care to people in need are vaccinated so they don't unwittingly pass on the disease. It's 1 in 10 if you're 70 and over, and Dr. Goldman explained it's 1 in 100 if you're 50 and older. And that's the way this virus works. It really preys upon folks that are older, and since it's so easy to transmit, 1 in 100 will die if you're 50 or over, and that I think our police officers that ended up in the ICU were in that age bracket. It is not something that you want to get or you want to mess with, and getting the vaccine is the best way to avoid it. We don't have BioBot data this week. They are delayed in their testing. We'll bring that back to you next week. But we did have a good conversation about that, and focusing on the vaccine, I think, is the way to go. Testing is still important, and understanding the prevalence of the virus in the community via the wastewater stream is still important. But I think the focus needs to be on better vaccine distribution. I think with the new administration in D.C., there's going to be more of an emphasis on that distribution. I know the governor and the PA Department of Health are working hard on setting up, getting us in the position to really roll it out to those groups, the 1Bs and the 1Cs, and then eventually the general public. So more information on that on the website. Moment's done a great job of sort of putting up Q&As and answering things. But you can also ask your questions if you'd like right now and put them in the comment sections here on Facebook Live, and we can talk about them at the end of the show. A couple other general announcements. Dog licenses. Yes, that's right. Once again, it's that time of year, and you want to try and get your dog license before March 1st, because then it's only $6. Wow. For 1 year. It's $14 for 3 years. And if you have a dangerous dog, it's a little more. It's $35 a year. The prices go up after March 1st. That's why you want to try and do it here in the next couple months. You're going to see that dog license registration form in your sanitation bill this month, so I encourage you to fill it out. It's important that we get all of our dogs licensed here in the city. Also, Christmas tree disposal continues in the city. It's begun already, and a lot of folks have taken down their trees. But if you're like me and my family, and you love your tree and you want to hold on to it until the very last minute, you certainly can. Just put it out sometime by the end of the month on street cleaning nights, and the city will come and pick it up. And if you don't even get to it in January and it lasts into February, well, at that point, you're going to have to put it out with your trash. But put it out on street cleaning nights, just like you would normally do with your yard waste. We'll take those trees, we'll get them composted and turned into something positive for the environment. Make sure all the tinsel and ornaments and everything are taken off those trees before you set them outside. And another reminder that City Council will be meeting this Tuesday, January 19th. That's right, they're back from break, and there's a lot on the agenda. You may recall right before break we gave them 4 bills on affordable housing. There's the comprehensive plan. There's all sorts of things which they're going to be taking up and scheduling hearings for in the new year. So sign into that meeting. Moment, I understand for City Council there may be a new means for the public to participate a little bit differently in the new year. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, Mayor. Basically, the public will now be able to join the Zoom session and attend as basically a general attendee. And when it's time for public comment, they can virtually raise their hand, and then in the order that those, in the order of that queue, we'll take it one at a time.
Great. That's something I've wanted to see for some time, and I'm glad that City Council is adopting that. So how do people get the Zoom link, and is it different than it was before?
It will be a different link. In fact, it's a new link. Generally, we didn't send that Zoom information out before. The YouTube stream will still be available for those that just want to watch and get the information, but those who especially want to participate in the public comment, or if they still want to just generally attend, that's completely fine. The Zoom link is found on our website. It's also found on our Twitter page, twitter.com/thecityofhbg. So we put it out on there, and we'll send out another reminder on the day of.
And just as a practical question, if you're watching at home on YouTube and suddenly you get it in your mind that you want to participate in public comment, is there a time limit, or can you basically join in the midst of a meeting and hopefully be recognized?
Sure, you can join at any point in the meeting, and we'll try to put the Zoom link also in the description of that YouTube stream.
Okay, great. Well, I'm excited about that and looking forward to increased participation. One of the highlights of last year for me was the amount of interest that we were getting from the general public. In some respects, Zoom was making it easier to get into people's living rooms, so to speak, and engage in a conversation. Those meetings, again, will continue virtually for the time being, but now it's even easier to participate and ask your questions directly. So there we go. We are going to turn now to the topic at hand, which is a positive topic and a wonderful topic, and that is the Pennsylvania Farm Show. I wanted to say that my phone has this thing where it shows me my memories of a year ago, and when I got the memories of my visit to last year's farm show, it's something that we've always done with the family. We've always brought all the children to. We love it. We love all of the exhibits, all of the activity, and it just reminded me of a different time. It was one of the last major sort of public events that we did before coronavirus, and it's been such an institution and such a historical, wonderful thing here for central Pennsylvania. But it hasn't gone anywhere. It's continuing. It's just become virtual. And it's been going on all week virtually, and it's going to continue tomorrow. So if people haven't checked it out, now is their chance to find out about it. And I want to begin with Shannon Powers, again, who's the press secretary for the Pennsylvania Department of Agriculture. And Shannon, let's see, can you start with basically just a little overview of the farm show and tell us a bit about what we can expect on this virtual platform?
Sure. It's great to be here today. Mayor, thanks for having us. The farm show every year brings about 500,000 visitors into Harrisburg, into our home in the farm show complex. But this year we're taking farm show into your home. The advantage of the virtual show, while we miss the big homecoming that farm show is every year and the competitions for all the kids, we are delighted this year to bring that content to you online, where you can visit at your leisure when it's convenient. We have a wide range of online events, and so far we've had more than 660,000 visitors to our Facebook page. That's individual visits. We have had folks from all over the US and Canada and England and some other spots in the world who are on their eyes are often on farm show and on the issues, but this year we've been able to make it more convenient to them, and we're bringing you behind the scenes tours of farms and allowing you to meet the people who put the food on your table every day or the fiber on your back, like folks will hear from a little bit later in the show. We're delighted to put this huge volume of opportunity online for you to meet farm show and the people who bring agriculture to you every day and who add 135.7 billion, that's billion with a B, to our Pennsylvania economy every year.
Thank you for that. And
oh, go ahead.
Okay. I was just going to say, yes, Momen is scrolling through some of what you'll find if you go to the Facebook link. But why don't you talk us a little bit about some of the specific things or some of the things you might recommend people do to participate in the virtual farm show?
One thing I would recommend At any time, you can visit the PA Trail. The Farm Show Trail was a new feature this year. You can call up a pin on the map and learn how to buy your favorite farm show products, the things you look for every year when you visit. You can find them online, whether you're looking for a storefront that you want to visit later, a farm market, a place you want to physically go and buy the product, or whether you want to buy it online, whether that's, hard cider or your favorite honey product or soft alpaca scarf. You can find it all on that map. Moment is scrolling through our Facebook page where there are tremendously entertaining and educational videos to tell you about all kinds of different aspects of our agriculture industry. You can also, there's plenty of content on our website, farmshow.pa.gov, and that is virtual exhibits on a wide range of topics. We have kids who are going from their classrooms or from home. They're ag explorers. It's a virtual scavenger hunt that we hold every year at the Farm Show complex. And this year, they can visit these virtual exhibits online and learn about agriculture. They answer a quiz, and then they send their completed Ag Explorer passport, I guess you'd call it, to win a prize.
Oh, that's great to hear. I know we've had fun in our family filling out those passports in years past. So great to hear that they can still be done virtually and online. And yes, you described my usual shopping list. You gotta look for the alpaca scarf, get some honey, some cider, maybe some apples, and especially, and from my point of view, maple cotton candy. Can't live without that. That's a once in a year tradition. So that's all on the Farm Show Trail, I guess, where you can find all of the vendors, that people are missing and want to support. And I'll say again, it's really important that we help support our local vendors and our small businesses, especially since we can't do it in person. Consider going online and supporting them via e-commerce. It's a great way to help keep them going. Aside from the sort of financial support that is necessary for a lot of these family enterprises, Shannon, can you talk a little bit about just why is it important to do all this and to put this forth virtually? Why is it so important to educate people on agriculture right here in Pennsylvania?
Well, agriculture touches your life in so many ways, and I think we've really seen that over the course of the pandemic. It has really shined a spotlight on our food system and how complicated our supply chains are, and just how much agriculture and the people of agriculture mean to us. They have, like our healthcare workers, they have been the boots on the ground, frontline people risking their own health to keep food on your tables every day of the pandemic. In fact, I would point out too,
oh dear, I guess we lost Shannon. Sorry about that, but I think we can continue that conversation. So let me just note, I was gonna end with her that the Farm Show does officially close tomorrow, but a lot of the virtual offerings will stay up online. So I encourage people to go live while the activities are still going on, but then go back again and again and delve deep into some of these informational videos and everything else. But let's go next to, maybe we'll get Shannon back, but let's go back to two sisters. We are joined by Alyssa and Alexandria Neff. Wonderful to see you both. Alyssa is the reporter and historian for the PA State 4-H Council. And Alexandria, you are the Pennsylvania Rabbit Queen. So we'll be asking what that means in just a second. But I think it's important to note that, Alyssa, you're a senior at Covenant Christian Academy, and you live in Harrisburg. And Alexandria, are you also a senior? Or what? No.
Yeah.
Have you graduated? Okay, not yet. We'll drill down on that. But let's start with Alyssa, and welcome. Let's begin with maybe you could just start generally with the question that I ended with Shannon, which is why is it important to you to participate in this virtual farm show and to sort of get the word out through a larger virtual audience?
Great question. It is an honor to be here on this panel. Thank you so much for having Alexandria and I. It is very much an honor to be here. Pennsylvania Farm Show has been a tradition for our family for about 10 years. We've been exhibiting 4-H projects, from family living projects to 4-H opportunities to poultry, rabbits, the Fleece to Shaw, Angora-Palooza, and many other competitions my family has had the opportunity to participate in and exhibit, which has just really impacted our lives. But why you should participate in the Pennsylvania Farm Show virtually is just there's so many educational exhibits that still to this day, I always take away something new and a different aspect of agriculture I learn from, and even become more just convinced that Pennsylvania agriculture is really so diverse and unique. And it just makes me more proud to be a Pennsylvania resident, as well as just be from Dauphin County and Harrisburg, to know that I have some impact on consumers and people who may not know about agriculture and the 4-H program. So.
Yeah, and so a lot of this you've been doing, as I said, as a senior through Covenant Christian Academy. How has the online learning aspect really sort of affected what you do and the connections that you make?
Definitely. It has definitely made me think outside the box and be grateful for the opportunities that I have had in person and just those connections, but also as maybe just come to appreciate teachers and their time that they put into virtual learning and just really making it enjoyable for my peers and myself. That I'm just so grateful for their time that they put into preparing the lessons. And I still love school, no matter with it being virtual or in person. Learning and just keep improving on my education is just something I've strived to do, and Alexandria has as well.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thanks. Okay, so let's go to Alexandria for a question here. Now, I guess the obvious question is, what does it mean to be the Pennsylvania Rabbit Queen? Can we start with that?
Well, to be Pennsylvania State Rabbit Queen, I am first and foremost representing the PSARVA organization. And if you don't know what PSARVA stands for, it stands for the Pennsylvania State Rabbit Breeders Association. And to become a royalty member, you first fill out an application with many questions talking about how you care for your rabbits, what kind of rabbits you raise, and how you house them. And then you have a face-to-face interview with the judges and talk about basically the questions that you discuss in your application. You also do different contests called judging, showmanship, breed ID, and for seniors, or the Kings and Queen category, you do a presentation like you would do at the farm show on a stage, educating people about rabbits or cavies. And all your scores are combined, and then they name and crown the Pennsylvania Rabbit Queen.
Wow. Well, congratulations. That's wonderful. And as you were talking, Momin's got showing us some video links, and I feel like I'm almost there. I love going through and seeing all the rabbits at the farm show. It's one of my favorite things to do. Now, I understand that you oh, there we go. Yeah, that you spin wool from rabbits into knitted, sewn, and crocheted creations. That's for either of you. We'll start with Alyssa. Alyssa, I'm familiar with the alpaca wool creations and other things, but tell me about what you can do with rabbit wool.
Certainly. We raise French Angora rabbits, and that's actually a project we've only taken on for the past 2 years. We've always worked with sheep wool and alpaca and other various fibers, but we decided to get into Angora rabbits, and we enjoy harvesting their fiber directly from the rabbit. Angora rabbits naturally molt their fur, or I should say their wool, and that is just pretty much shedding their fiber out for a new coat to come in. And with that said, the rabbit we usually have sitting on our lap, and we'll pluck it. As you can see here in my video, I will actually be demonstrating that later in my 4-H demonstration that I did for and as the Pennsylvania State Council 4-H reporter and historian. But we just love using our rabbits to make products such as scarves. Again, it's not hurting the rabbit because they're naturally shedding it, and we're just helping them out with that process and really just trying to use what the fiber that has been given. And this is just a great way to demonstrate and show that rabbits have this fiber for a reason, and we need to use that and make these awesome creations that we love doing.
Boy, that is really interesting, and I'm learning a lot here. Okay, Alexandria, back to you. Can you talk about maybe some of the challenges that you faced living in the city? And we think about Harrisburg as really being an urban environment, and yet you all are you're focused on agricultural pursuits and raising rabbits. You want to talk about a little bit about what it means to you as a city resident?
Yes. So raising rabbits in the city, really anyone can do it. Raising rabbits does not take lots of space. For me, I do not have a lot of space. I keep my rabbits in my garage in a stack carrier where each rabbit has plenty of room. So really living in the city, it just determines that I don't have as much space for as many rabbits. Some rabbit breeders have over 40 rabbits. I have under 10 rabbits. And it still allows me to be able to keep rabbits for showing, and my Angoras, as Alyssa was talking about, our French Angoras. We have 4 right now that we use for their fiber. But my advice is, if you're living in the city, it does not matter how much space you have, whether you have space for 1 rabbit or 5. Just being able to raise rabbits is a great experience. It teaches you responsibility, the value in hard work, and rabbits are a great furry companion for anyone. So I would encourage you to check out more on pasarba.org or talk to people who have raised rabbits. But getting involved and even trying to see what is feasible with the space that you have.
Wow, that's great. And Alyssa, what is Angora Palooza? Tell me about that.
Certainly, Angora Palooza has been actually somewhat a recent event that's been at the Pennsylvania Farm Show for the past, I believe this would have been the 6th year of having it. So it's a fairly new contest. Through Angora Palooza, it is similar to Fleece-a-Shaw or Sheep-a-Shaw, in that we are using an animal and harvesting fiber from the animal. In this case, we're using Angora rabbits. There are 4 breeds of Angoras: the French Angora, English Angora, Giant Angora, and the Satin Angora. Any of those breeds are capable of being used in this contest. You have a loom that has the yarn put onto it that is ready to go to be made into a scarf. There are usually 3 spinners, a harvester, and then the weaver. In this contest, you are given 2.5 hours to start from a bunny or using the Angora rabbit's fiber, spinning it, and then using the spun yarn, plying it, which is taking 2 strands of yarn and putting it together to make a stronger yarn that can be then given to the weaver. And from there, the weaver will weave a 72-inch scarf that will then be taken off the loom and presented to the judges to be judged on uniformity, the pattern, the quality of the yarn, the weaving ability, and such characteristics like that. And then after that, the winner is declared. And yeah, that's pretty much a great highlight of the contest itself. It has been a really enjoyable contest for myself as well as Alexandria. We always look forward to it. We always center the teams around a theme. In the past, we've had a woods theme, we've had a Little Mermaid theme, we've had a Beauty and the Beast theme, a fall theme. We just love using our creativity that 4-H has instilled in us to create these great products that just showcase agriculture in a really unique aspect. Many people don't think rabbits can just have this amazing abilities to have this fiber that can be created into such great garments, and we love showcasing that.
Oh boy, yeah, great video there. And okay, Alyssa and Alexandria, let's end with just a little discussion of 4-H and what it means to you. There could be a number of people watching this, who go to the Harrisburg School District. Maybe they're not as aware of 4-H and its opportunities. So Alyssa, I'll start with you. You are the official historian for the PA State 4-H Council. So what exactly is 4-H and what does it mean to you, and how can kids in Harrisburg get involved?
4-H is America's largest youth organization. In Pennsylvania 4-H, we have 80,000 members. In 4-H, we focus in on the skills of leadership skills, life skills, and civic engagement. We strive to create better youth to take their place into society. 4-H has been such a powerful part of my life. I've been in 4-H for 9 years. Actually, I'm now entering into my last year of 4-H, which is a little bit sad because it's really shaped me into who I am today. I would not be who I am without it. Alexandra and I have both been members in Dauphin County 4-H for 9 years. 4-H was a passion that was passed down to us from our father and our grandfather. They were in Lancaster County 4-H. And we naturally kind of had that passion to want to join. And we did so 9 years ago in Dauphin County. We were first for a little bit, like we lived in the city. We didn't know what projects we could do. But after visiting Dauphin County 4-H Roundup 9 years ago, we discovered that we could still have take part in this organization and be involved in agriculture in doing projects such as baking, wildlife, rabbits, poultry, spinning, weaving, and many others, even just leadership skills as well. Participating in our teen council in Dauphin County, which is a group of youth who represent 4-H for the county. And we have just loved being able to show our projects at our county fair, at Pennsylvania Farm Show, and getting to grow as individuals. 4-H focuses on just growing as individuals and sharpening those skills that we can take our part in the world and really just be planted as leaders and just grow in our success. Alexandra can even speak more about that as well. She's very passionate about 4-H, just as I am.
Yeah, please do, Alexandria. And also just talk a little bit about if people are watching this and they haven't gotten involved in 4-H, why should they?
Well, 4-H has been a big part of my life as well. Like Alyssa said, I remember when I first joined 4-H, I did not have a lot of confidence in speaking in front of people or really talking to anyone new. But in your life and as you go into career options, you have to talk to new people and gain being comfortable talking in front of people and cameras. And 4-H has just taught us the basics to public speaking and how to engage in conversation with someone new. And those are very valuable skills. And getting involved in 4-H has been one of the best decisions of my life, just from meeting new people and the skills you develop, which I know I will take with me for the rest of my life.
And just to share about how you can get part of Pennsylvania 4-H or join in your county, by visiting the Penn State Extension website under the 4-H tab is a great way to get started and just hear about the projects, as well as just tuning into the Pennsylvania Farm Show on their Facebook page. The Pennsylvania 4-H Council has been sharing about our 4-H stories, different project videos, and just really getting started there is a great way to get involved. You are not limited by your zip code where you live. You can do a leadership project, baking project, There are so many projects that 4-H has to offer for kids, those even interested in STEM. I was interested in that as well, and I got involved in 4-H through it, and I've expanded my knowledge on that. I've discovered I don't want to major in computer science, but it's giving me that appreciation for aspects. 4-H is diverse, and that in that diversity is where we grow and just get to enjoy each other's projects and experiences.
Wow. Well, thank you both so much. You guys are very impressive and wonderful ambassadors for 4-H, and great reminders of why the farm show is important, about why this, as a foundation of our educational system here in Pennsylvania, can really build character and confidence and work ethic. And thanks so much for participating in today's community conversation. Yeah. And we're going to go next to Sharon Myers, who is the executive director for the Farm Show Complex and the Expo Center. And Sharon, look, I know that, well, first of all, it's impressive that over 600,000 people have gone to the Facebook page, and a lot, and the interest is clearly there, and people are coming to the virtual farm show. But I do know that COVID has had quite an impact on the farm show and what's been able to have been offered over the past year. So, can you just talk a little bit about how the farm show has adapted in the midst of this health epidemic?
Sure, absolutely. First of all, thanks so much for having me, Mayor. I really appreciate the opportunity to talk about my greatest passion, farm show, and the economic impact that we produce. So it's been an incredible year for everyone. And for the Farm Show Complex, it has been, we to date have canceled about 95 what we call major events, those events that take place in our larger halls and arenas. And then in total, over 200 plus events when you talk about the meetings, the weddings, all the smaller events that we typically would host. So yeah, it's been a huge impact on us, as far as the facility goes. But, for us, really the bigger concern is the region in its entirety and the impact that we have on the entire region.
Yeah, and could you characterize the economic impact a bit? With so many shows having to reschedule or pause, at least in person and live events typically held at the farm show, there has been an impact. How would you characterize the larger impact?
Sure. So with the events that we host annually, we typically provide about $300 million in economic impact to the entire Commonwealth. We don't have it necessarily narrowed down to just the region specifically. Because everything that we do has a trickle down effect and expands out. But yeah, we're looking at probably about just on the top 95 events, again, that we listed as having canceled or rescheduled, and even some of the reschedules have actually canceled now. We work with the Harrisburg Visitors Bureau to determine those economic numbers, because they have a software program which is provided by a much larger tourism industry to get those numbers. So we work with them, and based on the top 95 events that we've canceled, we're looking at about $209 million in economic impact so far this year. That is lost, again, just from the major events. That doesn't go into any of the smaller events. Those smaller events get us closer to that $300 million that we typically talk about.
Mm. Well, I know that oftentimes out of great challenge can come other opportunities, and one thing that has impressed me is the degree to which the partnership with the food bank has really made an impact in Harrisburg and surrounding areas. Can you talk a little bit about how that partnership has developed over the past year and how the farm show is being utilized for food distribution?
Sure. So so with every curse, there's a blessing, right? We have been very fortunate in that, the public events that had to cancel opened up the doors for some community service. Food Bank has been a great partner from day one, moving in and establishing a much larger operations than what they would have been able to do had they stayed in their home. The footprint that they have in our facility is much larger than what they would have been able to to have in their own home, which has allowed them to really ramp up the distribution, the products that they provide to a variety of food banks, as well as, within their own network, and then food banks outside of their network as well. So we've been able to house them and keep them moving. We've been able to do some other community support projects as well, working with the Central Pennsylvania Blood Bank. We worked with Dauphin County commissioners on their annual holiday event where we serve provide food boxes to 500 families in Dauphin County. Typically, that's a big banquet where they come in, they get clothes, blankets, toys for the kids, and then a really nice meal that we prepare. But this year, of course, we, as everybody else, we had to think outside the box. Worked with Dauphin County and their team, and they were, came up with the drive-through model, which we were able to host. So really thankful, to again be a major player in this community, a major support in this community, and do what we've always done, and that's support the region.
Yeah, and let me thank you for that and for your constant willingness to open your doors for community service. And specifically with regard to the food bank, that partnership has made a huge difference in Harrisburg. We've distributed, just thousands of tons of food throughout the pandemic, and without the distribution space and organizational space for volunteers to prepare and to get that food out at the farm show, I don't think that would have been possible. So thanks for that. Obviously, we are going to get through this. You heard me talk at the beginning about the vaccine and the rollout, and it's already happening here in central Pennsylvania. And there will come a time when things return to normal, and we are going to be back to in-person events at the farm show. Can you tell us when we do come back to the farm show, will there be certain improvements or changes that people should expect upon their return to the farm show complex?
Absolutely. We are really excited to open our doors again and what our fans will see, our visitors will see when they come through the doors. Fortunately, we had already begun a $21 million capital improvement project when the pandemic started. What this pandemic has done with the cancellation of shows is it really has allowed us to just move forward much more quickly than what we would have if we'd have originally done what our original plan was, which was, try to run a capital project while still hosting shows, because we didn't want to impact the shows or the need for the region to have us open to host those shows. So we have 13 projects on that list, on the capital improvement project list. Some of the infrastructure things that you won't see, but you'll notice will be, a new sound system throughout the entire complex. We have a new fire warning system. We have new floors going in. Anybody who has traveled between, the new section of the building and the old section of the building, you travel through the North Hall, and it was constantly a trip hazard. The concrete in that hall had been torn up, just broken up over years of wear and tear. And so we have a whole new floor in that hall, a new floor in East Hall, new sections of floor in Northwest and West. And so it's going to look much better. It's a much brighter concrete. We have all new doors and windows being put in the older section of the complex. Some of the old doors on the McClay Street side still had the old push bars that are no longer permitted. So bringing them up to code, being able to secure all those doors, new roll-up doors going in. So, we're very excited about that because, we have an amazing trades team at the facility, but the number of doors that they fix in a week is pretty incredible. We have a new roof that has been installed on the Cameron Street lobby. Just prior to the pandemic, the last bucket count that we had in the Cameron Street lobby was about 300 our team has fixed over 334 holes on that roof, but we had about 30 buckets sitting all over whenever it rained. So real happy to have that fixed. And in addition to the capital project, which there's a lot of other things in that project. Like I said, there's 13 in total, but a lot of them behind the scenes that people wouldn't really notice. But the farm show team has been very, very fortunate in that, the facility remains busy. We want to remain busy because, again, every time we host an event, it pushes revenue into the economy. but it doesn't allow for a lot of deferred maintenance. It doesn't allow for us to fix, just fix things. It's kind of like, your house is the last thing that you fix. So the team has done an amazing job, painting and fixing cattle chutes and hog chutes and rearranging things that, cleaning out closets and, giving stuff to surplus, and just really done a great job. I think that when, we are finally able to open, which is really what we want to do, while this has been great. And again, we're very thankful for the opportunity to get so many capital projects done and so much deferred maintenance done. What we really do is entertain visitors, and we want them back in the building. So we're really excited to have a facility that when we present it to them, they're going to know we were closed and that we didn't just sit around waiting for them to come, that we really used the time to get a lot of things done that, it's a facility that we've been tasked and we're honored to take care of. And the team has just been really excited with all the progress that they've made. And we hope that you will be too when you come back.
Well, thank you for that update, Sharon, and we look forward to seeing all the hard work. And again, I guess that's another opportunity that's come amidst these challenges. The focus on upgrades in the building. I can't imagine being responsible for that roof. It must be an enormous and continual undertaking. There was a time that we had a bucket count in City Hall moment, but we've happily are past those days now too. Before we get to public questions, I want to turn back to Shannon. I see you're back with us somehow. The wonders of modern technology. We lost you for a second. I didn't get a chance to finish, but maybe we could end with. I know the farm show is officially closing tomorrow, but I know that many of the offerings are gonna hopefully stay online and be available. And one of the positive things, and we found this in the city as well for some of the festivals that we do, is that with this emphasis on the virtual, I think we're able to push out an awful lot of important information. And I imagine that in the future, there's always going to be a virtual component because there's just so much quality material that one can make available online. But let's talk a little bit about tomorrow. If people go today and tomorrow, what'll they see for the finale here? And then what will continue onward as we move past January 16th?
Well, today, as I mentioned, but I'm not sure if I was on, there's at 1 p.m., there is a live seminar about food security and the many things that we've done to bolster food security way above and beyond what Sharon was mentioning. That's the great thing about this. You can learn in depth about an issue if you're interested in it that challenges the agriculture industry and feeding the world. If you're on our Facebook page, if you're a Facebook user, you can view those videos at any time, even if you can't participate live. And you can hear from experts across the spectrum. These are the people at the cutting edge of bringing you food in the ways that you want food, the kinds of food and in the ways that you want to receive it. So the virtual exhibits will be on our website, as will that map that we mentioned, the Farm Show Trail map. Facebook and Instagram, that content lives there forever. If you just scroll down through the video feed, you can get inspired with new recipes and dishes to prepare, and tutorials from some of Pennsylvania's most high profile and wonderful, inspiring chefs. So while you're still at home, find something to do. You can learn all about things for your kids to do. I think I may have frozen again.
No, you're still there. All ages, all information, and great stuff. We can get some inspiration for things to cook or to do. It's almost 1, so if people want to switch over to food safety in a minute, they can. Final question before the public asks it: is there a butter sculpture this year, virtual or otherwise, and how does one see it?
I am so glad you asked. You have until tomorrow night at 8 p.m. to enter our Butter Up contest. And you can see that information on at farmshow.pa.gov how to enter. It's through Facebook. Then we'll have fan voting. And I can tell you, we've gotten some spectacular entries. We were mentioned on the Jimmy Kimmel show. We've had a lot of interest in making your own better sculpture. Yours can be 5 pounds or under, though, not 1,000 pounds like the one we generally have.
Oh, well, what are some of the innovative submissions that we've seen so far in terms of sculpture topic?
You can't reveal those
Oh,
secrets.
it's a secret. Okay.
Look for our Facebook page, and I guarantee you will be wowed. And there are entries from young children all the way up through seniors, and people have really been having fun with it.
Okay. And when will the winning sculpture be unveiled?
So they will be fan voting will be next week, I believe. The winning sculpture will be announced on not Monday the 18th, but the following Monday.
Okay. Well, thanks. We will go online and click on the butter up. Momin just showed it to us, so that's great. Great to know. All right. Hey, Momin, do we have some questions from the audience?
Thank you, Mayor. No specific questions, but I do want to remind our viewers, farmshow.pa.gov is the website. On Facebook, it's easy to find, as well as on Instagram, PA Farm Show. So facebook.com/PA Farm Show and Instagram.com/PA Farm Show, for those who are using their browser to access those sites.
Yeah. Okay, great. Well, we explained everything so well, and I hope that folks will go and check it out. I want to thank each of my guests. This was a wonderful and informative show, and I think a very important, just respite from the rest of all the things that are happening in the world. So thanks for letting us focus on these important issues for this week. And until next week, this is Mayor Eric Papenfuse saying thank you for watching our community conversations. Stay safe, and we'll be back again next Friday on Facebook Live.